You like the equal weight, right?
I love the equal weighted S&P 500. That's well, I just think that as you pointed out, probably a lot of this good news has been priced into the mega cap tech cohort, maybe even overpriced into the mega cap tech cohort. Everybody owns these companies, so there's not a lot of buying pressure if you think about who's next to load up on the Magnificent Seven. But there is a broader array of companies that actually look pretty healthy. And if we don't go into this, hotly forecast recession that we're all preparing for, embracing ourselves for, I think that the market could rip from here. The equal-weighted S&P could rip. It could
rip. What kind of upside is rip?
So, yeah, it's all relative, right? I think that what we're forecasting through year-end is 4,600 for the S&P. I think the equal-weighted S&P could do double those gains. So from here, it's not that demonstrable.
Wow.
But I think over the next 10 years, buying the equal-weighted S&P 500 today on a valuation basis suggests that you could get more than 10% price returns per year from the equal-weighted S&P. This is not an environment where a lot of other asset classes promise 10% returns plus additional dividend yields.
What I'm doing technically, though, is stripping out the muscle of big tech.
Yeah.
And relatively speaking, giving, say, financials a bigger presence. Do I want to do that right now?
So financials is a tricky one. I like financials. I like large cap financials because A, the banks have already been regulated. B, a lot of the bad news is behind us. C, there's got to be a shape of the yield curve that helps the banks. And what's interesting is that every phase of the yield curve has been cast as bad for banks. I think we're actually moving into an environment where, if the Fed is closer to being done on the short end and the long end is potentially higher for longer, that's historically been a good environment for lending. I think the banks also have the opportunity, and old financial companies have the opportunity to get less labor intensive, which is bad for me, but it's good for margins of financial companies. So lots of levers that I think are underappreciated, as well as the fact that if regulated banks are regulated utilities now, why don't they have the multiple of a regulated utilities company?